Hey everyone, so it's Hearth and welcome back to my channel. On today's video, I wanted to look forwards into June 2024 to look at the books that are being published, the decks that are coming out, the astrological events that are happening, and the Sabbats, so that we can get an idea of the things that we might want to look forward to in the coming month before it actually gets here. If you like this video, do let me know and I'll try to do some more going forwards. I'm not sure what I'm going to call this video yet. I think I settled on What's New in Witchcraft as the title, but honestly, I'm not sure, so if you have any ideas, do let me know. But I wanted to share some of the things that are going to be coming up in June that you might want to be focusing on within your magical practice and also within your studies as well. I will very commonly only find out about an astrological event 2 days after it's already happened and then kick myself that I forgot the full moon again, or I didn't realise that Venus was entering into a particular astrological sign until it was a little bit too late to do any workings for it, or I completely forgot that a book I was looking forward to was coming out, and so I'm hoping that these videos might be useful for anyone who's a little bit like me. So this month we're covering a lot of different topics, as mentioned, astrological events, Sabbats, books, decks. I'm not, however, going to be able to cover everything, but hopefully going forwards I can add more and more detail into these videos. So up first, I feel I should probably talk about astrological events. These are the things that I will often forget about and miss within my own magical practice. Life can get busy, it can get hectic. Before you know it, you've missed the new moon that you really needed to do a working for, and now you're kicking yourself. So there are a few significant things that are happening in June. For my own benefit, I did only pick the ones that I found to be particularly significant within my own practice, because there's a lot of little nuances that happen during every single month that might not be applicable to the majority of people, so I've mostly just picked the things that I personally would really be focusing on. So up first, we have the new moon. The new moon is going to be, as far as I'm aware, in England. It might be slightly different in other locations, so do be sure to double check it. Will be present on the 6th of June. Now this is the new moon in Gemini, so not only are we going to be focusing on clearing out unwanted energies and blockages, we might want to be removing things from our lives in the same way that we would at every other new moon. It's all about clearing out the old to bring in the new. When it comes to Gemini, you might want to be focusing specifically on certain aspects of your life, specifically those that revolve around knowledge and understanding. So if you have plans to go to university, to study, to improve your education a little bit, if you want to be focusing on a new topic, perhaps within your witchcraft or your personal journey, now could be a good time to remove the blockages that might be holding you back from it, to allow yourself to progress into it going forwards. The new moon in Gemini can also be a good time to work with Gemini energy. So if you are a Gemini, if there's anything really significant like blockages or things that are holding you back, it can be a really good time to be working on those things. And also for those of you who are particularly partial to this form of magic, it could be a good time to be pushing away people from your life that are not benefiting you, especially if they have Gemini as a strong placement in their chart. So all of that is just something to bear in mind. You don't have to do anything for the new moons and full moons, but if you are looking to do a working during this time, those could be really useful. You may also want to be setting intentions for growth, development, learning, all of these aspects of your life to grow as the waxing phase progresses after the new moon. So you're clearing away the blockages and then you are opening up to new opportunities. The full moon is then on the 22nd of June. As mentioned with the new moon, these will vary slightly depending on where you are in the world. Now the June full moon is often called the strawberry moon, the rose moon, and the honey moon, depending on where you are, and they often relate to this abundant, fertile energy. That fertility doesn't have to be the way you might be thinking. It can simply be fertility and abundance in aspects of your life. And so it's a great time to be doing workings for prosperity, for growth, for development of your hopes and dreams, and especially for things like self-love, romance, doing workings with your romantic partner or within your friendship group to help magnify that energy. It's really a time that's associated with strong abundance. And so if that's the kind of working you want to do, now is a great time to be doing it. Now, this is actually the full moon in Capricorn, and so it could be a really good time to be working towards finances. So that fertility and abundance could be in regard to getting a promotion, to getting a raise, to getting a new job, to finishing up your education. So you could be working this alongside that new moon in Gemini to really magnify that energy towards your goals. But generally speaking, anything abundant is really good to be doing at this full moon. And if you do want to connect deeper with the Fae, now can be a good time to do that as well, alongside divining lovers, divining for future partners. Any kind of love-based divination is really good at this time of year. Now, beyond moon magic, there are a couple of other important things that I would personally be focusing on astrologically at this time of year. Now, if you do want to do more research on things outside of this, I will leave some links in the description box if you do want to check out more information. But one thing I do see as being really significant during this season is that Venus is going to move into Cancer on June 16th. Now, this might bring up a lot of strong emotions when it comes to relationships and partnerships. So we're talking about really fast-moving relationships perhaps coming about, something new going from 0 to 100 really, really quickly, strong emotions, heart on sleeve kind of energy, but that could also be a negative as well as a positive. You might be finding that within relationships, things just feel like they're moving way too quickly, and so it's a time to kind of slow down, take a moment, take a breath. You don't need to jump in all in one go, and if you feel like you have to in order for something to succeed, then that might not be the right thing for you in the first place. So it's a really important time to collect our emotions and not going 100% instantly. Take some time and realize that there might be some influence happening during this time because of the placement of Venus. And then the sun is also going to be moving into Cancer on June 20th. Now, many of you will recognize this as being the day of the summer solstice, which we will get to in just a moment. But this is really a time for all of us Cancerians, because I myself am a Cancer sign, to be working on self-development, self-growth. You might want to be doing workings to help clear away things that are negatively impacting you, maybe aspects of yourself that are very closely associated with these Cancerian traits, and so that you can magnify the positive and reduce the negative, because I think we can all admit that some of us are a little bit over emotional, myself included. I feel like I can speak on this because I am a very emotional Cancerian. I will cry at literally everything. It's something I should definitely be working on. So it might be a time to be working on improving your negative traits and improving your positive ones. It's not about shaming yourself. It's simply about self-growth and development. It can generally, for all of us, be a time to be nurturing our emotions, self-love, caring, and just generally being a better friend, a better partner, and better to yourself as well. We've gone through a lot astrologically in the last, what feels like few months. It's really only been a few weeks, and so now is a good time to have that self-love, that nurturing. Don't punish yourself for the things that have happened before, because we've gone through an eclipse. We went through a really brutal Aries season. These kind of things can really take their toll, so now is a great time to be having some contemplative energy, to be looking inwards, doing some meditation, some self-healing, some self-love work, and really enjoying this wonderful, energetic time of year. Now, no doubt there are going to be some negatives in the astrological future, but these are the things that I would mainly be focusing on within my own practice. Now, I did briefly mention it, but June is one of the months that contains a Sabbath, one of the festivals within the Wheel of the Year. Now, I will say not all pagans and witches will follow the Wheel of the Year. Some will choose the festivals that they follow, others will follow none of them. But if you do celebrate the Sabbats, on June 20th, it is Letha. Now, Letha is also known as the summer solstice, and it is a really popular celebration for many around the world. I'm hoping to do a full video on this, so I'm not going to dive too deeply into it, but if you do want to do your workings, now is a great time to be working with the solar energy, abundance, prosperity, growth, and I do think it's important to note that some things are colliding at really similar times. So you have that full moon happening on the 22nd, and then you have the summer solstice happening on the 20th. So it can be a great range of energy to be grouping together into your abundance and prosperity workings, and it's going to be incredibly powerful. So if you want to do a working between the 20th and the 22nd, could be a really good time to get that super strong energy, but don't feel like you need to if that energy is going to be too overwhelming, because it's probably going to be quite strong. If, like me, you enjoy watching the Stonehenge sunrise, I will leave the links to it down in the description box if you do want to check that out. It is fairly early, so brace yourself if you are not a morning person, but it is well worth a watch. If you are in the southern hemisphere, however, you are not going to be celebrating the summer solstice. Instead, for you, it is going to be the winter solstice. And this might change the energy just a little bit. So you're going to be working towards bringing things to fruition, looking inwards, self-reflection, maybe working surrounding protection, the home and hearth, appreciating all of the things that you've developed over the last 12 months, and really taking some time to be looking inwards. So it is the counterpart to the summer solstice, the opposing energy to it. So whereas one is very outgoing and abundant, the other is very inward looking and focusing on appreciation of things and also looking forward to the year to come. Moving on to book releases, there aren't as many as I was expecting. The majority of the book releases that are happening this summer are going to be coming out in August. So if I do continue with these videos, expect August to be a manic month because I found so many books releasing. There are, however, a few that I found particularly interesting that are coming out throughout the month of June. Now, I will reiterate here that this is definitely not all of the books that are being released. These are the ones that I found particularly interesting, and I'm not affiliated with any of the authors or the publishers or anything. I just wanted to mention it for people who are perhaps looking for a new book to read this summer season. So the first book that I found to be released is called The Cottage Witch's Guide to Magic: 25 Enchanting Projects to Make Your Home More Sacred by Suzanne Lemon, which is coming out on June 1st. Now, I get a lot of people requesting books about cottage witchcraft, hearth witchcraft, home witchcraft, and so this one does look really interesting to me. It's a little bit more specific than a generalized book on the subject because it is looking at 25 enchanting projects, but that could be interesting for many of you who are curious about this topic. After this, we have 2 books coming out on June 6th. We have the 2025 Witch's Diary, which is being released on the 6th of June for preparation towards 2025. This diary is a really popular one as far as I'm aware, so if it's something that you do get year on year, that's the release date for it. And then we also have Celtic Druidry: Ritual, Techniques and Magical Practices by Ellen Everett Hopman and Kenneth Profrock, which is coming, as mentioned, on June 6th. The last book that I really wanted to focus on is one that I get asked to talk about a lot. Well, it's a topic I get asked to talk about a lot. This is Dragon Magic by Rachel Patterson, which is being published by Pagan Portals on the 28th of June. So that's something to look out for if you are wanting some more dragon magic books, because they aren't particularly common. Within my own collection, I think I only have 2, and I've rarely found more that I enjoy, so I'm looking forward to checking this one out myself. Now, alongside books, we do have a few tarot and oracle card releases, not massive numbers though, but there were 2 that I really liked the look of the artwork, and so you might appreciate them as well. The first one is Tarot for You and Me, a queer deck and guidebook. This is coming out on the 6th of June, and the artwork is really, really beautiful. As soon as I saw it, I'll be honest, I was really tempted with it. It looks really, really nice. And then the other is Everyday Witches Familiars Oracle, which is coming out on the 8th of June. Now, many of you know my feelings on physical and animal familiars. However, I know that many of you do enjoy this style of artwork, and I think a lot of you will appreciate this deck. So mark your calendars if those are decks that you are particularly interested in. So that is just a small glimpse into what is happening in June 2024. Just to keep you guys updated, if you do want more in-depth versions of these, I'll try to do more in the future, but I really like knowing what's happening in advance. I'm not very good at having things sprung on me, and so I figured this is a good way of working around that. Let me know any additional book releases that are coming out in June. I know that there were a lot of books that were being published in French, Spanish, and also Japanese, so a lot of the most famous witchcraft books are being republished in these languages so that they are more accessible to more people, so I might have to include those in the future, but I will leave additional links if I do find more books being published and more decks being published in the coming months. So with that being said, I hope that you did enjoy this video. If you did, feel free to give it a like. It really means a lot to me. If you've got any questions, comments, concerns, video ideas, or just want to chit chat with the community, feel free to post your comments down in the comment section. And if you do enjoy the magical content on this channel or in this video, feel free to hit subscribe. I try to post magical content every single week. So with that being said, I hope you're all staying safe. I hope you have a marvelous magical day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!